5 talking points as Chelsea continue Premier League title push with dominant win. Chelsea extended their lead at the top of the Premier League to 6 points with a commanding win over Leicester City. The lunchtime kickoff presented the Blues with the opportunity to stake their claim, sit back and watch their rivals attempt to cut the gap, which is exactly what they did. Thomas Tuchel's side, who had won 4 of their last 5, don't seem to have lost a beat during the international break. The last time these two sides met, Leicester produced something of a shock at Wembley to lift the FA Cup. 6 months on, though, and Chelsea appear to be going from strength to strength with Antonio Rudiger and N'Golo Kanté notching in the first half. Rudiger headed home from a corner, whilst his teammate was able to travel before slotting past Kasper Schmeichel. The Foxes, as you'd expect, produced a markedly improved showing in the second half, but were unable to breach the Blues' defense. Instead, it was the returning Christian Pulisic who was able to rub salt in Leicester's wounds and underline the current gulf between the two teams, and it could have been even worse had the Blues not had 3 second-half goals ruled out for offside. Here are 5 talking points from a comfortable win for the title hopefuls. Have your say. Can anybody stop Chelsea winning the Premier League? Tell us in the comments. The King Power is not a happy hunting ground for Leicester at the moment. Already the Foxes have lost more than they've won, 3-2, on their own patch this season. Chelsea became the third side to win there following successes for Manchester City and Arsenal. This is nothing new though. Last term the Foxes much preferred playing on the road, losing just 3 times, whereas they were beaten on 9 occasions at the King Power. Those woes will not be helping their ambitions though, with teams in the upper echelons of the table often renowned for being tough to beat at home. Already there seems to be the danger of a mental block, with Leicester's questionable home form a talking point in the lead up to the Chelsea defeat. Watford and Newcastle are their next 2 opponents at the King Power. Defeats against those two sides will seriously see alarm bells ringing regarding their home results. Romelu Lukaku was signed in the summer for a club record fee and was quickly heralded as the final piece of the jigsaw. A goal on his debut underlined that, but since then his efforts have dried up with his tally stuck on 4. He currently finds himself out injured, not that Chelsea have struggled however. Yes, they are a better team with the Belgian present, but in his absence the Blues continue to find the net. Kanté and Rudiger both scored their second goals of the season at Leicester. They could have in fact been even further ahead at half-time. In total, Tuchel has seen 15 different players score for his Chelsea side in the league this season, which includes several of his defenders. Yes, title hopefuls often have a prolific marksman to rely on, but, as Manchester City continue to show, not having a 25-goal striker doesn't have to be a drawback. Read more. Timo Werner must follow Romelu Lukaku's lead to kickstart his Chelsea career. The Northern Irishman had to field questions this week about the potential of taking charge at Manchester United. Rodgers is reportedly a leading candidate to take over at Old Trafford should Ole Gunnar Solskjaer be shown the door. But now, with everyone seemingly watching his every move, questions are immediately asked whenever his team come unstuck. Be it their questionable home record or conceding from corners, such speculation is not what he or the club need. It is worth noting that, whilst Leicester's past 2 seasons have seen them mix it with the big boys, thus putting Rodgers in the shop window, this Foxes team operate with far less resources than their rivals. A home defeat to Chelsea for decades has never been anything to be ashamed of, but as Rodgers is linked with pastures new, all this seems to matter a little bit more. Read more. Brendan Rodgers' disrespectful Man United job comment gives Ed Woodward food for thought. It says a lot if a player is turning down international opportunities to concentrate on his club form, but that is exactly what Callum Hudson-Odoi did. The 21-year-old is certainly not short of competition at Stamford Bridge and felt going away with the England U21s was not in his best interests, which in itself divided opinion. Nevertheless, minutes at Chelsea are not guaranteed, such as their squad depth, but Hudson-Odoi looks to have found a home in Chelsea's front 3, and his performances suggest his huge potential could soon be unlocked. Tuchel said recently, "He is clearly on the right way, you can see it in the matches and how effective he is. I feel he is very focused. He waited a long time for these chances and now they arrived." He's only scored 8 league goals for Chelsea and 3 of them have come against Leicester at the King Power. Clearly the German has an appetite for it. The centre-half rose highest to head home early on and set the Blues on their way. Leicester City have now conceded more set-piece goals than any other Premier League side this season, 8, and Rudiger was only too happy to add to their issues. The defender's performances are coming amid the backdrop of an uncertain future as his contract winds down. Rudiger wants a pay bump and his efforts seem to deserve just that.